Welcome to the Worship Tech Tour channel, and today we're featuring the state-of-the-art technology at Mavuno Church, Hill City. This is the headquarters of Mavuno Church, founded in 2005 and located in Athi River, Kenya. The church utilizes advanced sound and video systems, also including lighting, to create an immersive worship experience. The leadership team at Mavuno Church, Hill City understands the importance of investing in tech to create an engaging worship experience. If you're in the Athi River area, I highly recommend checking out Mavuno Church Hill City for yourself and experiencing the tech-enhanced worship services.
Hi, I'm saying hi. My name is George. I happen to have the privilege of being the head of tech at Mavuno Church, Hill City. So this is what we're using. We use a Behringer wing. What we had before was an iLive T80, but now during lockdown, we needed to do post recordings, that kind of thing, and that was being done here in church. Unfortunately, the T80, the iLive T80 didn't have the capacity to do multi-recording. It involved us getting a card, which was a lot of work. Luckily enough, our downtown campus had a Behringer X32, which they were gracious enough to lend it to us to use during the recording. One time my senior pastor was here, and I said, now this is a good opportunity for us to upgrade from the X32. So I put it up, powered it up, and I called him so that he could actually hear the difference in sound. And the difference was just so huge, like you couldn't compare. And he was like, let's get that.
Yeah.
Luckily enough for us, when we were ready to now church, everybody now was going back to the physical service, we had to give the mixer back. This was after a year of using it. So it would be best now for us to upgrade from. It feels like a downgrade, because those people who know the iLive T80, it's a beast. Like, it's been in the industry for so long.
Yeah.
But I think over time, new mixers have come up, new technologies have come up that have made it not be as superior as it was 10, 15 years ago. So I felt the Behringer way was a good way to go, because after using the X32, the interface was just so nice, so easy to work with. The effects, onboard effects were so good. I was like, okay, let's do that. Luckily enough, it just happens that Behringer also upgraded their console. They merged with Midas, and they brought out now the wing. The wing, I think at that time, had been a year or two in production.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, let's get the wing. It's a 48-channel mixer.
Wow.
Which one of the best things about it, it's a stereo kind of like mixer. What that means is, instead of having two faders, like in the case, like I need to do a stereo channels where I have my keyboard coming in on the left and another cable running on the right.
Yeah.
So that means I have two faders to control that. With the wing, it gives you the capacity of just using one fader as a stereo bus. So it can actually do up to more than actually 48 channels.
Wow.
Because if you're having like stereo keyboards, stereo tracks, that kind of thing, instead of them now you occupying two faders, you're actually just using a single.
How many channels do you usually use, like on a normal Sunday?
So on a normal Sunday, we don't use those many channels. we are not that big of a team to use that much. So we have a drum kit that we use. We use 9 mics on it. I will actually show you how we've actually patched that up. It's a 4-piece band. So we have a drums, we have a bass guitar, we have a lead guitar, and we have a keyboard. But now the keyboard, he has tracks and he has metronome. So that's like an additional, so it comes like more like a 5-piece band.
Yeah.
If you're counting the tracks as part of a band.
Yeah.
And then on a typical Sunday, we have up to 8 vocalists on stage, and now the preaching pastor.
Yeah.
So if I put that in total, it's about like 20 channels.
Oh. So like for the drums, I think we'll go to the drums later after you show me this. You have also different mics in different channels, or do they all go into one channel and then get up to here?
No, those are actually different mics going to different channels.
Okay.
An additional input channel that we use, we have our computer that would sometimes play our countdown when you want to start the service. If there's any video that is coming from the control room, I believe you guys have seen the control room. So we've routed a signal from that control room to here, so that comes in as an additional channel. So I would say those are, I think, about 20 or like 24 channels in total.
So that's like half the... So it's possible to actually use all 48 channels.
Oh, it's so much possible. I can give you a scenario where we can actually use all the channels. Because now in a case where we have two keyboardists playing, so that's, we have 2 stereo keyboards coming in. We have probably... I know there's a set we did where we had a saxophone, we had a violin, so the number can grow. And then the vocalist, I think the match we've had on stage was 12 guys singing, and each one has his own mic and all that. So it's actually so possible to exhaust all 48 channels.
So like having the 24, have you ever, is it only you who gets to handle all the 24 channels, or do you usually have like an assistant? Like what happens in that case when you have even more than 24 channels being used?
Whoever is doing sound at that time, whoever is on the board, actually just does all the mix.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So it's a bit fast because you have to jump. The most, I think, I would say the most technical time or the most busiest time for any sound engineer, especially those who are in church, is during the praise and worship set. Because that's the time where you're
most of the channels,
you're engaging all the signals coming in. So there's a lot of jumping from one bank of faders to a different bank of faders. For some of you that is Greek. We'll decouple that in a few what that exactly means. But once we do our sound check, we have our basic mix. We know where everyone sits and where the keyboards are, where the drums are, the vocalists are. The vocalist is where actually we spend much of the work in, because at least for them, it's not a constant like signal coming in. You'll find different singers, they sing high at some point during the set, low at some point during the set. So that's where actually in a mix we'd spend so much time mixing, because at the end of the day you want your mix to sound blended. I always give this example. My work as a sound engineer is like somebody who's making a juice. So you have all these components coming in. You have your sugar, you have if you're making mango juice, you have your mango, you have your water, that kind of thing. Now you are to mix them all up so that it comes as a mango juice, that you're not feeling too much of the mango, you're not feeling too much of the water, too much of the sugar, or whatever spices therein, like it's even. So that's actually where the bulk of the work is. Just bring in your drums, bring in your keyboards, your guitars, your vocalist, and blend them in such a way that you're serving to whoever is in attendance. They don't feel, oh man, those drums are too high. That keyboard is too high.
It doesn't get to interrupt the worship.
So, but now that the major work, especially in a set where we don't want to interrupt, is especially the first few minutes when the service starts and everybody comes in. because something funny is when you do a sound check, it's not, in as much as we try to be thorough, but you'll find people are really not bringing out everything, all the energy.
Yeah.
There's something that happens when now everybody's there. There's some energy that comes from you don't know where, and you're like,
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, some would call it the Holy Spirit. That's where we actually get so busy. But as it slows down, you get further into the service, at least you have managed how to handle the mix. So it slows down.
Yeah.
Slows down.
Makes sense. All right.
And that's it for this episode of Mavuno Churchill City Worship Tech Tour. Be sure to look out for more videos in this series as we explore the amazing tech used by Mavuno Churchill City. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a patron on our Patreon page and by subscribing and liking the videos. Thank you for watching. Until next time.